Okay, fellas, look, I'll level with you. We do have upgrades here, a new suspension and a new side pod as well, but we've only got one, so, someone has to miss out, unfortunately. Yes, Jack, look, I know that you're ahead in the championship, but that's only because Stoff got taken out by Porchel in Japan. Look, I don't know what to do. Alright, let's do rock, paper, scissors. You ready? Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Come on, guys, Stoff, you get the parts. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing for the Chinese Grand Prix today. And, well, we've got some upgrades on the cars or car because we only had enough for one. So, yeah, so we've given it to Stoff. It was a tough one, wasn't it? Because typically you give it to the driver in front of the championship, and then we'll go and have a quick look at the standings so you can kind of see the dilemma that we're in here. I'll get myself out of the way a little bit. So Doohan is currently ahead of Van Dorn by 2 points, but as we know, Doohan was running 10th in Japan, Van Dorn was running 6th. He got taken out by Porsche, and that pretty much is why Doohan is now in front of him. So I just thought he's our number one driver, he's our highest rated driver. Even though Doohan is in front in the championship, and it's maybe not quite fair on him in that sense, I think Stoff has kind of earned the right to get them. Now, if we have a look here at the car performance, this is Stoff's car, and you can see we're pretty good in corners now, tyre preservation as well, which might help us through a longer race. But Doohan is, I mean, worst car in a couple of categories there, and I mean his cornering isn't as good either, so it does make a very big difference. But I think we've got to be fair. We'll have the other parts on the car here shortly. So it is really just this race problem. We've finished our front wing, but as you can see, we're out of manufacturing slots for now, so that'll come again for the next race, hopefully. We have also started researching the chassis. We did get the vote in, and it was what we wanted. It was the chassis, the chassis redo. So this research is taking place without any R&D time or whatever it's called. So it's very much just get the ball rolling kind of thing. We had engineers free, so we're doing that with 6 engineers, which isn't ideal in terms of the longer term benefits that we get. But this is just very much just get something on chassis because it's a very, very big redo, 70% of all cutback of everything, and then we'll start. And when we get the new reset of the wind tunnel time and whatnot, then we'll start and we'll do another chassis and we'll sort of go through everything once. Hopefully, we'll get through everything twice is my plan. So that is all of that. Now, not too much else to catch you up on, I don't believe. So let's go and have a look at what we've got here. It's going to be a dry race. It's a sprint weekend, of course, as well. If we have a look here, circuit map there, red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. There's the sections by speed. Lots of medium and high speed corners, and we know, as we just saw, our car works well there. Now, slow corners as well. So let's hope that this maybe works out for us. The top speed is where we're going to hurt down that massively long back straight and the front straight as well. So the final sector may not be our greatest friend, but hopefully we'll be okay here. 25 seconds for a pit loss. Expected strategies is going to be a 2-stop, so that means we need to save medium tyres potentially. We can see here that it's a second between a soft and a hard. So you might actually be better off making an extra stop, medium, medium, soft, soft, or something along those lines. If it's a second to lap difference, we'll have to see, but it might be worth doing. It might be worth doing. Historically, in the course, the reason I can never remember any of the results, as it was pointed out to me in the comments last race, we simmed all these races last year, so of course I don't remember them. We didn't actually see them. So Science, because he won the last one too, didn't he? He was on a bit of a tear at this point of last season. So let's go and have a look at our race targets here. Someone should have turned my phone off. So it is 18th. Yeah, I mean, if we don't come 18th with this car, there is something wrong with us. Although Doohan's performance on the grid is only 17th. So 18th for him is pretty much performing where he should. So, yeah, tough one, this one for Jack. Alright, so we've just got the one free practice session. I'll go through that. We'll see where we qualify for the sprint race to see whether we do it or not. But, yeah, anyway, let's go and get free practice done. Alright, I feel really unprepared for this. So we've done free practice 1. It was okay. Old engine parts, hard tyres. Stoff was 10th, Doohan 16th. So that's fine. There was a lot of sort of what they called like affiliate drivers in the session as well, so that maybe makes it look a little bit better for us than it perhaps was. I think what we'll do for sprint qualifying is I'll just show you the first 2 session results, and then if it goes to a SQ3, then we'll have a look at that. I think just in the interest of time. So that went very nicely indeed. 8th for Stoff, 10th for Doohan. We just did the one run as well. Going out Maloney, Albon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Lawson. So we'll go to SQ2. Oh, it was so close to getting both cars through. Stoff didn't do his greatest lap. We only had time for one. I sort of went in the gap, so we had the track to ourselves. And he got just pipped. Look at that, by Tsunoda on his second run. So that's a bit of a shame. He was slower than he was in the first one as well. But Doohan's through, so let's see where he'll be starting from. Alright, so here we go with Doohan. We only get the one set of tyres, so we're just doing the one run. We waited to the end to try and get the best track conditions we could. He should have a decent gap. There's a Red Bull in front of him. I think that's Verstappen on a hot lap, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for us. We've done a green first sector, obviously, because it's the only sector that we've done. We've got another yellow flag. It's a red flag, and that's going to screw us over. So I don't know where we start from here. So Porsche crashed, but as if we don't start ahead of him. Well, we'll see where we start, I guess. So we don't start. We start in 10th. That's ridiculous. That is surely ridiculous. All right, so we're going to start on a hard tire here because I think if we're any chance of getting points, we're going to need to do something a little bit different, and this will hopefully also allow us to push the whole time. Yeah, I mean we can absolutely hammer the tires. So. Yeah, I think that is probably the way for us to go, and yeah, because only top 8 score points, of course. So we're sort of in the zone where we could score points, but we're not quite there exactly. So we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I figured there's not many points available here anyway, and we're not going to use the hard tire in the race. I'm definitely going to try and do medium, soft. So we should be the only ones on a hard tyre, and indeed we are. So yeah, basically the medium tyre that we're saving here will be that and a soft tyre to make the difference up in the race. So hopefully, like I say, it works out okay for us. Of course, we're kind of committed to that now. I still think it's horseshit that Porsche got the start ahead of us. I don't understand why that would be the case. But anyway, it's just a bit of bad luck. Bottas, because he spun on his lap, so you may have noticed he's like 11 seconds off the pace. So he had a big bit of luck there, but anyway, it's done now. I wonder if we tell them to avoid high-risk curves, just to try and keep the temps down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we can pretty much, on the hard tyre, push as hard as we want and see where that leaves us. DRS is enabled now. So let's see if we can go up and nick ourselves a point. So this helps our cause. Hamilton has dropped it coming onto the back straight. So you'll see us go past in a minute.
Sorry, guys.
And he almost drove into the path of Doohan, actually, who goes past on his outside seconds after that replay ended. So, yeah, that helps. It would have hurt those tyres of his as well. So we're now 8th and 9th. And actually, Doohan might need to get back on the thing because he did get very badly blocked by Hamilton coming back on. So that's not been ideal for us. And it looks like we lost the back of Yuki there as well. So yeah, although it moved us up a position, I think it's actually hurt us quite a bit, that Hamilton spin. And you wouldn't believe it, the other Ferrari has just got and stuck it in the weeds as well. It was a lock-up on, I don't see how that's a lock-up, but anyway, Leclerc has dropped behind us both, so excellent. And one on track, as Van Dorn gets past Tsunoda, which was expected, I would have thought. Up into 6th now is Stoffel. This is magnificent from the Belgian.
And the overtake is made.
Okay, so we are just over halfway through this one. Doohan is, well, he's just kind of dropping off a little bit. We've sort of fallen back into a bit of a battle with Porsche over 9th and 10th, which is effectively useless. Of course, 8th is the last point scoring position. There was a bit of a train behind Tsunoda, but we seem to have broken free of that now with Van Dorn, and he's 4 seconds up the road. Hamilton doesn't really have the pace. His spinner's knackered his tyres, so he's got to conserve them. So yeah, I think Van Dorn is looking pretty good for 6th, actually. It is still I mean, it's 6 seconds in front, but 4 seconds behind. We can't keep that pace up we were doing with the push lap, but maybe we could close in on Bottas slowly. But I think Doohan's going to be destined for disappointment here, because he needs to get back past Porsche and Hamilton, or Tsunoda. And yeah, I mean, he's there or thereabouts at 6 seconds behind, so he's not in any danger from behind. But yeah, we'll see on that front. But yeah, Stoff is looking good. I don't think we've scored points in a sprint race before, so this would be a very nice result for us, even though, you know, the Ferraris kind of gave us a massive help there, didn't they? Alright, so we're coming around to start our final lap of the sprint. Still 6th and 10th. Yeah, I mean, we've had pretty good pace, to be honest. We've been matching Porsche almost exactly that last lap in Hamilton. And Hamilton's tyres, as we know, were hurt at that. You know, we had that spin at the start. I think, actually, the hard tyres haven't been a bad call for this one because we've been able to push the entire race. We haven't had to worry about saving tyres. And our lap times have been pretty good compared to everybody else. So we are catching Bottas a little bit. That's him there. No, wait, we're on board with Doohan right now. That is Bottas there. Doohan has been catching Tsunoda a little bit the last few laps, but I mean, that's again, it's 9th or 10th, doesn't really matter. But this is going to be our best result, I think. I don't think we've had a 6th before. It's the result he should have got in Japan, but Stoffel Vandoorne in the Chinese sprint comes home 6th, which is very, very nice, and he's out of petrol, is he? And Doohan is about to come home as well, and he is going to come home in 10th and park up next to Vandoorne out of fuel. Perfectly managed. So, Vandoorne up 5. The other thing that shows is those upgrades are pretty freaking good, aren't they? And we get 3 points in the sprint, which we've never said before. So, now we can qualify properly. We get another crack at the setup as well. So, we didn't get Vandoorne's particularly good there, did we? If we go something like... The problem is that you're always guessing at this point, but let's go something like that. I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully that'll make things better for Stoff. Now, do we want to change any engine parts? Because I didn't have his best stuff in for that one either, because I didn't necessarily think we'd score points. So we will give him a new gearbox. The gearbox in Japan did take a bit of a beating, as we can see, so that's a massive shame. Doohan, your setup was not too bad, just the braking stability for you. We saw Stoff's was a little bit more up here to get perfect for him, so we'll go in that direction. Car parts, do you want a better ERS and a better gearbox? Although in truth, Doohan doesn't really have the car for this weekend. But anyway, let's go see if Q1 should be fine. So a bit of a crazy session with 2 red flags. Porsche, like the session just started, I don't know what he did, pulled out of the pits and crashed. And then O'Ward caused a second red flag in the session. So we're both through. So we'll go to Q2 now and see if we can get into the final bit. Okay, so we're doing our second run. First run, as ever, was on used tyres. 9th for Vandoorne, 13th for Doohan. So both cars will need to improve. Vandoorne might be okay in truth, but obviously Doohan needs to go faster. We're on board with Vandoorne, and that is, I believe, Russell in front of us, who is the car that is currently 11th. So as long as we're sort of matching his pace, then that should be okay. Both cars have got a green first sector, though. Vandoorne, I think, would be very disappointed if he didn't get through. He should get ahead of Tsunoda on new tyres at least. Bit of a jump to get up to anybody after that. And then Doohan, if he can get himself into the top 10, he would have done very well with the unupgraded car. Although Ocon has just got up into the top 10 there. So it may well be Williams has bought some upgrades. Now, he would have got quite a nice little toe off of Russell there, I think. So Vandoorne goes 7th. Doohan... Oh, 11th, a 10th off of Russell. So we've got a red flag, and I don't think the session's going to get big crash for Tsunoda. I don't think the session's going to get restarted here. Okay, so it has been restarted. If we get our move on, we should get across the line. We do, and nobody else is on a lap. So we've got the track to ourselves. It's a demonstration run. And let's hope. We're only a little bit off the McLarens, who I'm assuming either had old tyres or got held up. So worst case scenario, we're going to be starting 8th. Oh, I've got a sneaky bid. We could, even get ahead of Bottas for 5th, which would be our best, certainly dry qualifying. I don't think we've even done 5th in the wet, have we? Let's have a look what the second sector is. It is green, as it should be, because we're on new tyres for this one, of course. Come on, stop. So unlucky for Doohan, but I think that's actually a really good qualifying for him, given that he hasn't got the upgraded car. To be 11th, I don't think is a big shame at all. Let's see what we do here with Stoffel Vandoorne. He goes a little bit faster. So it's 8th for Stoff, 11th for Doohan. Let's have a look at our strategy options. And of course, our options are somewhat limited because we've committed to the extra stop, although based off of this, we don't actually have to make an extra stop. So why would people be even contemplating a hard? I mean, we've got so many tyres. I've saved too many. All right. So we probably do soft, medium, and then if we want to do a soft at the end, surely a soft tyre could be just subbed in there, couldn't it? A soft tyre not pushing as hard is absolutely fine. So, I mean, that's your strategy, isn't it? Actually, I think what you probably want to do, and we've seen this before, is we probably want to do a soft, and then a medium at the end. Because if you do it this way, then you're getting the undercut twice. And hopefully, a lot of people are going to have to use a hard tyre here that we're not going to have to use. I thought we'd have to do like a Doohan strategy, but I don't think Doohan needs to worry about that, does he? Let's get rid of it. That stop there. Let's go soft, medium. You don't need to push that hard. The medium tyre, yeah, Doohan is a little bit more marginal, isn't he? Now, does he not have the same tyres? He's got the same tyres. He's just not as good on them, is he? But if we tell him to avoid high curbs, I wonder if we send somebody on the extra stop. I mean, we could. There's no reason why we couldn't do another set of softs. At all, there's no reason why we couldn't do another set of softs. Because we've got the tyres to do it. We could just go at a massive push and just do something like that. So we'll try. It says it's 3 seconds slower. There's lots of chances to overtake. So let's see what Jack can do. Yeah, he's got 3 sets of softs, another set of mediums if we need it. Alright, let's have a go at this. Alright, welcome back. Now, of course, it dawns on me now the reason Doohan is different is because he's got a different car, doesn't he? So the tyre preservation, all that isn't as good. So that's why it doesn't work for both cars. As oh, that was a bit of a swing out, wasn't it? But let's see what we can do here. I think we tell both drivers not to defend because it just ends up slowing you up. And Van Dorn has held position, as has Doohan off the line, so that is good. And yeah, I think we're probably, with Van Dorn, looking to protect what we have, aren't we? We will do quite well, I would say. Could we beat a Mercedes? We've been roughly in their conversation recently, but more with Porsche than Bottas, I think. It would be nice if we could manage to let's try and keep these temps down while we push early on. It would be nice if we could stay in their DRS for a bit. Oh, we've got Russell having a look at us. Go away, George. But it doesn't look like that's going to quite be possible. So yeah, it might well be that we are just trying to protect what we have here. But we'll see. We've already drifted out of DRS of the front guys. If we could get Russell out of DRS behind us, we're only a couple of tenths away from doing that. Helpful. That would be very, very helpful. We're only a couple of tenths outside of... have we got him out? I think we've just about got George Russell out of our DRS. So Stoff needs to back off now because we do need to go some sort of distance. And he's not a mile away from getting back into the DRS of these cars in front if they squabble too much. Oh, what's happened there? There's been a little bit of a squabble going on. And you get DRS past Tsunoda as well. And that would be us in 8th and 9th, which would be a pretty good result, all things told, I think. Alright, so we were sort of cruising around by ourselves, and then Tsunoda's had a couple of big push laps and cruised up to the back of Doohan here. So that's not ideal. But last lap he did a 140. Yeah, he sort of the last 2 laps. So I suspect that might have been 2 push laps on the battery, which is up to him to do, I suppose. So we might find ourselves in a little bit of a battle here with Tsunoda in a minute, though he's dropping back again already, but he has got our DRS, so that's going to make it difficult. But yeah, I mean, Doohan's tyres, even though we're full push, is the same as everybody else, which does make me wonder a little bit if everybody behind us, and you can kind of see with tyre wear compared to those in front that are sort of look like they might be on Van Dorn's strategy. So it's going to be very interesting if that is the way it plays out. The sort of Doohan back, make an extra stop compared to, oh, we've got a yellow flag. What's happened there? We've got Ocon dropping back with Russell. The Williams collided. Oh, I mean, that would just be James Vowles' day made, wouldn't it? It is going to be the 2 Williams. Look at this.
So close.
And
the impact on the car,
it's minimal, but it sent them both off. Massive own goal for Williams. But that's not our problem. But yeah, it will be interesting if sort of Van Dorn up are going to do Oh, and Bottas with a mechanical, that could help us as well. Yeah, so if they can do an extra stop compared to everybody behind, it actually helps Doohan because he's going to drop back in, although Pourchaire is on a medium, so probably not him. It's going to mean that when he pits, he's going to not have to drop back into traffic and come back through, although he would have newer tyres past slower cars. It might actually help him in that he will just drop into, be ahead of everybody still. So, yeah, this is shaping up as an interesting one, although it might be, to be honest, we might be looking at a race between Yuki and Doohan, and that is about it, because everybody else is, there's just a big difference in pace. Van Dorn's on his little stop island, and there's a 7-second gap behind Doohan now. So unless Pourchaire is the car that's missing here, isn't he? So if he comes back, then maybe. But it looks like we're in a race with Tsunoda and at some point possibly Pourchaire. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. DRS disabled. It is Pourchaire. He has had a nightmare race. An absolute nightmare. Caused a red flag in qualifying. And now a virtual safety car in the race. And it's the same crash we saw from Tsunoda. And you didn't see it, but O'Ward had exactly the same crash as well. Weird that that's happened 3 times now. But anyway, this is probably close enough to Doohan's window, considering we can push these medium tyres out a little bit if we need to go and get a cheap stop. Let's go with a soft tyre. And we're only just outside the pit window anyway. So I think that works out quite nicely for us. We will conserve... Now, do we take this with Stoff and do medium to the end? It says it's 2 seconds slower, and it doesn't actually save you that much time. So no, we won't do that. Confirm unsaved. Yes. Because a virtual safety car isn't a safety car, like it's not like the whole field's going to be backed up. We're going to keep the gaps. So I think it just about works out for Doohan, because we can stretch this medium tyre a little bit longer. I don't think it works out for... don't think it works out quite as well for Van Dorn. But let's see what sort of stop we get here. Is anybody else going to take this? It doesn't look like it. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, there is the risk of us being stuck in traffic. 2.5, we'll take that. Do we get out ahead of O'Ward? No. Gasly ahead of us as well. So we do have much better soft tyres, but it might be a little bit of a struggle perhaps. Alright, so Doohan is currently 3 seconds a lap faster than everybody. It's working an absolute charm in that sense. And we're back up to 11th with some cars pitting out of the way. So that is more or less... See, these cars are stopping when we would have been stopping with Doohan. So I don't quite understand. We're going to have gained so much on everybody. And if we look at the gap to Tsunoda, it is 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. So it's a 25-second pit loss. This is going to work out very well for Doohan, I think. And Van Dorn is 7th. He has Leclerc behind him, who has stopped. So he's just got past him there, as we can see. So if he can tack onto the back of him and DRS around for a lap or two, that will help him. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Faster car on better tyres is going to be difficult to stay with. But Van Dorn will be coming in the lap or two's time anyway. Okay, so we're coming in this lap with Van Dorn. Tsunoda has stopped. He's 15 seconds behind us. So that has worked out an absolute charm for Doohan. Let's see what sort of stop we get here. He's actually going to come out ahead of Van Dorn, is Jack. Now, he needs to make an extra stop, of course, so he kind of needs to be. But, it's working out very, very nicely. Is he going to beat out... So he's beaten out Bottas and Hamilton as well, so Doohan is 6th. What a little masterstroke of a strategy this could prove to be. Oh, it's a pit stop issue. I missed that. Couldn't have been a big one. And crucially, we are ahead of Maloney and Tsunoda. So it's not the end of the world. But yeah, right, not ideal, obviously. But I mean, Doohan, he has Hamilton right behind him and Bottas as well. So that he's not going to be ahead for long. But we weren't expecting him to be. I thought he'd be in a battle for 9th and 10th. He's going to be a little bit more competitive than that, I think. Alright, so we are on Doohan's in-lap. Now, he's losing, just starting to lose 9/10 a second a lap to Tsunoda, but the gap there is still, what's that, 12 seconds. So it's still about half a pit stop, and we're about to come in. To be only losing that on old tyres when he's on his fresh tyres, I still think is working out for us. And we'll see. What we want to try and do, if we can, is get out ahead of Stroll. We should be okay because his lap times even now are more or less just matching us. So he's not going to be a problem in terms of beating us in the race, on current pace. But we could do with not having him as a issue trying to get past, unless we are sort of in a position to get DRS down the back straight first lap without him holding us up too much. But let's see what sort of stop we get here. So there goes Tsunoda. A 2.3 is very nice. So Stroll does go past. And we get out just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg in the other Aston Martin. So we're 4 seconds behind, which is not ideal, truth be told. But, yeah, we're on the mediums. We can probably keep pushing and just stay off the curbs. That seems to be working quite nicely for him. And hopefully what we don't need is to be in a battle with Nico Hülkenberg here. So let's deploy. We've not quite broken the DRS. He has a mechanical issue as well, so hopefully he's not going to be in a position to come back past us here. It doesn't look like he is, does it? So no, he's worried about what's behind him. And we've broken the DRS. So that is all good. 2 seconds, 2.7 seconds. We're catching Stroll very, very quickly. And then we should be on to the back of Tsunoda. And all things being equal in terms of my understanding of what the strategy is going to be this race, both ourselves and Tsunoda have one stop left to make, and we're 9 seconds behind and catching him fairly quickly, I would imagine. Alright, so it's taken a little bit longer than I would have liked, but we have caught Stroll. Are we going to get DRS on him? We've got DRS, I should say. Are we going to get the overtake done? Not quite there. Stroll has been doing decent laps. We've been sort of pulling him in at half a second a lap, but both of us have been pulling in Tsunoda. So we're going to get past him into turn 1 here. Then it's just the 6 seconds up the road now to Yuki. And last lap, yeah, we were a second faster again. So I don't think there's too many concerns here. Because like I say, we've got our tyres that are in better condition than his. And we're going to go onto a soft. He may or may not, but he's going to be on whatever he's going to do. He's going to stop before us and be on older tyres. So, yeah. That's absolutely fine. I mean, what we could even do to try and cover him, we'll see what sort of tyre he comes out on, but if he pits for a soft, given that he is more or less our race, what we could do is even just stop sort of, say, the lap after and just cover him off to make sure he doesn't get any sort of undercut on us. What we might do here is just deploy to try and keep Stroll behind us here. We don't need to be getting into a battle with him. He's 6/10 back with DRS, so we'll just hopefully break that DRS string. And yeah, we're still catching Tsunoda at a pretty good pace. So yeah, it's all looking good. Van Dorn stop is coming up shortly. He's on a Van Dorn Island, the stop island that we've come to know and love. So yeah, I don't think he's just gonna finish 8th, all things being equal. So yeah, but we've broken that DRS now to Stroll. So yeah, we'll be back for Van Dorn stop or an overtake of Tsunoda in the next lap or two. Alright, so Yuki, God love him, has upped his pace. He's trying to keep us out of his DRS, but it's just a matter of time. But this is Van Dorn's in-lap. Bottas has that mechanical issue back. Maybe there's a chance if that gets worse we could run him down. But 12 seconds is quite the gap, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm not expecting that unless he actually retires or if it gets really serious. We're not going to catch him, I don't think. So Van Dorn's coming in for a medium tie-up. This time he gets a better stop. Can we get out ahead of Stroll? That would be very nice. It's going to be close, but it looks like we've just about managed to do that. So Van Dorn is now going to the end. He is 10th and has no more stops to make. We have run down Yuki, and I suspect down the back straight this lap, we will be making an overtake to get Dorn up into 8th. So 8th and 9th would be a very good result for us here, I think. And I've got to say, especially, Dorn making the extra stop with the non-upgraded car, I think he's had an absolute amazing race so far. So let's hope he can go on with it and get the points he deserves here. As he does indeed get past Tsunoda, who will now probably come back past him down this straight. But maybe he's burnt out his battery. We might keep him behind, looking at the time. No, he just got us. That's all right. We'll get him again next time. All right, so Tsunoda has just pit, which is fine. We'll see what sort of tyres he puts on here. We're just going to be a little bit careful that we don't lose out too badly to him. Now, Van Dorn, you'll notice we're going a full push. We're telling him to avoid high-risk curves. Now, the reason for that, Bottas is still out, and he's going to be out for a few laps, it looks like. So what I want to try and do, I suspect he's going to come out onto a soft tyre, but what I want to try and do is close up as much of that 12 seconds as we can, so that if this issue with these, whatever the mechanical issue is, gets worse, so Snow's on a hard. Oh, never mind then. We're going to come out on a soft, so we've got him covered either way. We'll just keep an eye on his lap times to make sure he's not cruising up to the back of us too quickly. But yeah, that should be absolutely fine. So we're going to try and take as much time out of him as we can. We've taken 5 seconds out of him that lap. Now we can't keep going with the battery, of course. We'll have to try and charge that back up. But if Stoff can put the pressure on him with that mechanical issue, it might get worse. He won't be able to manage it quite so much. So let's hope that becomes a bigger issue, and we can take advantage of that. Now, hopefully, Stoffel's going to get past Doohan here without too much of a trouble, and it shouldn't be an issue. DRS should take care of it naturally without having to tell Doohan to slow up. We don't tell him to defend, and there we go. That's going to be nice and easy. Don't fight it too much, Jack. Just go with it, because you're going to be coming in the pits in a few laps anyway. Alright, so Bottas has just come in the pits. So, I think Van Dorn's going to get him here. A pit stop issue wouldn't go astray either, but I'm fairly certain that we've got him easily. We've got him. Doohan might even get him. Is Doohan going to get him? Not quite. Doohan, of course, has to make a stop, so that's not legitimate. But 4 seconds up the road, even pushing the tyres like this, they should get there. And he is on a soft tyre, so that's the negative, obviously. But with 15 laps to go, can we hold off Valtteri Bottas, an injured Valtteri Bottas? And let's hope we get a good stop for Doohan here. And as I say, we're going to be behind Tsunoda. We're going to be ahead of Stroll, who's another 15 seconds back. Just want a nice, clean AVR stop here, please, boys. Off on go. 2.5, we'll take it. And Tsunoda, there he is there on his hard tyres. We've got soft tyres. I'm going to say, come on, Jack, you got this one, mate. Go and run him down. It's 4 seconds. That should be okay. Alright, I take that back. Bottas has closed us down very, very quickly. So I've told him to defend. We're going to defend, and we're going to try... We didn't do much defending there, and Bottas might have just nicked the DRS there as well. If that's the case, that is not great. Oh no, we did get the DRS, so we should go back ahead. And this will go back and forth for the next 10 or so laps, it looks like. So... yeah, we'll see. I mean, 8th would be brilliant. Doohan is right behind Tsunoda. Valtteri Bottas just got back past us there. But this is the one that matters. This is the one that we expect and that we want. 8th and 9th would be a very, very good result for us here. And be interesting to see if Doohan ends up closer than a pit stop behind in the end. I think both cars have probably worked out about as well. And I think, judging by the difference in time, given that Doohan has a slower car, I don't think there was much difference between the two strategies either. As I think we're going to have DRS here. If we can just stay with him as much... oh, we've just lost it. If we can stay with Bottas as long as possible, and again, just keep that pressure on him with that mechanical issue. We don't want him to be able to nurse at home. We really do want to try and keep the pressure on as much as possible here. Alright, so we've got a fully charged battery. So we're going to try and get him here. The better move might be to get him into the second DRS zone, but let's not waste any time. Should get the move done there. We've got a little bit of extra petrol to push, and if we steer clear of him here, and we're 0.8 of a second clear of him already on his hard tyres, he's going to have no answer to us, and that is Jack Doohan up into 9th. So we'll break the DRS here with him, and get that out to over a second. We've got a set of full battery, so we've got plenty of ammunition to fire at him. Alright, never mind cruising to the end. We've caught back up to Bottas. He was just struggling a little bit. So we put a bit of pressure on him. We used our battery to get up to the back of him. And, well, this is where we find ourselves. So, his soft tyres are, you know, we're almost back on level pegging there. We're going to have DRS. I'm going to harvest the battery because 3 laps to go. I do want to try and be a little bit smart about this. We've got to be, if we're going to overtake him, we've got to overtake him at the right time. So if we can charge up our battery when DRS is going to pull us right up back behind him anyway. And just try and stalk him here for a little bit. We don't want him to get back outside DRS, of course. We need to go easy on the fuel again. But he's right there for us. Okay, so we are back within DRS, I think. As long as we get to the line there, we have, I think, got DRS. So we're going to come around and start our last lap. We have drained the battery, so that is the big disappointing thing. We're full attack on the tyres. Did we actually have DRS there? I'm not sure that we did. We should have it this straight as we start the final lap. Do we have anything for the injured Valtteri Bottas's Mercedes? Let's hope so. Doohan is well clear. He's 10 seconds clear of Tsunoda, so he's going to cruise home into ninth. We sort of called that battle off, as you can see. So now we do have a little bit of battery. We do have a little bit of battery. This might... Oh, that's not the place to overtake him. As he just let us pass there. That would not surprise me at all. Oh, no, wait, don't deploy. 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 Be behind him. Be behind him. No, stop. No, no, no. Oh, Bottas has read us like a book. We are telling him to defend, aren't we? Hang on. Pause. Are we telling him to defend? Always defend. Oh, we needed to be behind him. We needed to be behind him. That's not really defending either. Stuff. Go on, Stoff. Go on, Stoff. He's got the inside line. A little bit of battery. I think he's got him. Stoffel Van Dorn, 7th. He beats Valtteri Bottas on the line. And Jack Doohan on the lead lap as well, which, you know, let's be honest, it doesn't sound like much, but that's a nice achievement to get both cars in the points on the lead lap. But Van Dorn with a bonus position on Bottas there. Wonderful stuff. So a huge weekend. Van Dorn moves up from his starting position. Doohan moves up too. And with the points, of course, for the sprint race as well, Van Dorn finds himself 8th in the championship. Doohan actually goes down a place to 10th, but still to have both drivers in the top 10, that shows we are a top 5 team, doesn't it? Which is where we sit right now in the constructors as well. So it would be nice to see if we could beat Mercedes this season, but considering the board expect 9th, big regulation changes next season, I think, and let me know what you guys think in the comments, I'd be quite happy to finish this season 5th, stay ahead of Red Bull, sort of be best of the rest, and just focus on next season. I think that's a pretty good go for us. We did get a little bit of pit stop points there as well, so we are now 2nd, or we were 2nd anyway, behind Red Bull, but that's still pretty good, I would say. And what do we get? We do get our contract sponsorship money, which is just under $1 million if I move myself out of the way so you can see that. And there we go. So there is, of course, no sprint race, no F3, I should say, at that race. And I think the next one's a sprint race as well in Miami, isn't it? So it's going quite well. It is going very, very well. That was a really good race. And, of course, Doohan should have the upgraded car for the next race. Yeah, he will do in 11 days' time. We might even have our new front wing for that one. So hopefully you enjoyed it. The sprint races are always a bit of a marathon, especially to record and sit here and watch the whole thing. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time in Miami. Take care.